Hello and welcome to the Acquisitions and Resource Management Department at the Rolvaag Library of St. Olaf College. Until recently, our department was known as Technical Services, but in August we updated our name to better reflect the breadth and scope of what we do and to try to make it sound less like we're the IT department. As you can see, we have a very open space here in our department. Most of our staff spaces are along the outside edges of this room, and we have student workstations scattered throughout the center of the room. We really like this because it allows us to be collaborative, to talk to each other, and to keep a good eye on our student workers as they're working on tasks throughout the day. So I'm going to start here in our processing and unpacking area. Hannah is one of our student workers. Say hi, Hannah. We use student workers for all kinds of tasks here in Acquisitions and Resource Management, or ARM as we call ourselves. They're a really great resource to call upon, and we're really very lucky to have such wonderful students here at St. Olaf. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is just where we unpack physical materials that come in. Someone usually brings them up from our loading dock, and we open the boxes. The students will take the invoices and verify that they match what's in the box, and they will pay for them in our ILS, which is currently Millennium. And then they will prepare them to be cataloged, put them on a cart, and they go over here. We use a lot of tags and signs as we process materials. For example, here's a little tag that says Olaf's Loft. That is our sort of casual reading area upstairs, and it lets our cataloger know that that's the location code that this particular item needs. We use similar stickers for reference items and other special collections within the library. Another thing we do to mark materials for special processing is put them on different carts. So here we have materials, for example, continuations that are coming in that need treated a little differently, DVDs, other materials like that that need more specialized treatment. And part of the reason for that is with our regular materials, we try to do as much automation as possible. So for the majority of things that we're purchasing through our primary book vendor, which is YBP, they actually come to us with prompt cat records, which means that we already have pre-searched OCLC numbers and records that we can use for the bulk of our materials. Another thing we use is Backstage Library Works. Every night we send all of our new cataloging to Backstage, and in the morning the records are returned. They have been processed for RDA enhancements and for authority control. So that really helps us use our staff time as wisely as possible. And speaking of staff time, I'll introduce you to Jeannie Owens. She is our primary copy cataloger, serials person. She manages all of the stacks maintenance, which I will talk about a little later, and is just kind of does it all right now in terms of print resources at least. We also, of course, pay for and manage many, many, many electronic resources and databases, and Karen Engler is our primary electronic resource librarian who helps us with those things. Another category of materials that we handle a little differently is our special collections, or what we call our heritage materials. These are things that are special interest to the St. Olaf College libraries, such as things dealing with Lutheranism, things dealing with Nordic countries, Nordic languages, Norwegian American heritage, things like that. We handle those a little differently, and one of the things that we do is we use this machine called a Colibri cover machine, and it allows us to put a breathable, archival quality plastic cover on materials so that we can attach, we can still circulate them, but we attach the barcode and the spine label onto the cover and not onto the item itself, and we don't stamp these. So they're maintained, we preserve them, but they can still be usable. Another category of materials that we have that don't circulate are downstairs in our special collections area, and we have a vault. And in addition to the people in this room, we have a special collections cataloger who works downstairs. There's also technical services people who work in the music library here on campus and in the Kierkegaard Library. Another task we do in ARM is deselection, or weeding as it might be better known. And this is another student task. We have lists of materials that meet certain criteria. They have to be more than 15 years old, have no uses for 10 years, not be any kind of special or rare. They need to be, in general, owned by at least 100 other libraries, that sort of thing. So the students get these lists and they go up and they pull the materials from the stacks. They cross out the barcodes and spine labels. They stamp them with drawn. And then we box them up and we send them to a company called Better World Books, which will try to sell them if possible, or recycle them if nobody wants them. So those are all tasks that I think are probably pretty common to technical services departments in libraries. We do a few things though that I think sometimes fall in other departments in libraries. One of those is stacks maintenance, which I mentioned briefly earlier, and I'm going to walk you over here. So one of the things that we do is inventory. We have 2 inventory laptops, and we have wireless barcode scanners that our students go up in the stacks and do inventory with. So that has fallen to our department. As of last month, our students are doing pretty much all of the shelving for the library. So all the materials that are coming in through check-in, our students are now the ones reshelving those. They're clearing the stacks, they're straightening sort of all the stacks management tasks. They're pulling out, or we're having materials coming through check-in that are in need of repair or potentially replacement, or just needing to be withdrawn, so they're identifying those. And that's worked out really well, and that's part of why we changed our name to Acquisitions and Resource Management, is we feel like now we're really managing all of the resources in the library for their whole life cycle, essentially. There's other random things we do here, like getting the mail, watering the plants in the building, other random tasks that have fallen to us. I think one of the most exciting things that we do in ARM, which I think is pretty unique, is we do all of the PR and marketing for the library. And I'm going to take this camera.
Hi, I'm Patty Cohn, Chair of the Library PR Committee. I supervise a crew of student workers who help me create displays, events, and signs for the library. We also create our really popular Word of the Week buttons that are very sought after by students. I also work to keep our library Facebook page active, and I create content for the library webpage and the campus electronic bulletin board system. One of our popular events is our January mini golf tournament that we play throughout the library. We have 9 holes that were created by art sculpture students. It was a great collaborative work.